Hello, hello, hello. It's your girl, Shauna Ray, and welcome back to Boss Talk. It's so good to see you all yet on another Wednesday. We made it through all the way to hump day, y'all. So, if you are out there, please tell me something spectacular that you want to let the world know about your week. Anything that was just spectacular. And you know what I recognize is that sometimes when someone says, tell me something good or tell me something spectacular or amazing that happened in your week, we are always looking for things that are out of the ordinary, or that that really could be blasted all over the world as fantastic. But what I am learning and trying to lean into is to celebrate even the small wins. Like if you are normally late to work or late to meetings or any of that sort of thing, but you made it this week, you were on time and you were like feeling good about yourself, blast that out there. Let's put that out there because that's important. If you are someone who has anxiety and you get nervous about certain things all the time, but you push through, that's a big win. Those are things to be noted. And I think it's important that we celebrate all of our victories, no matter the size, and also who else gets to know. Because a lot of times we feel like if it's an inner victory, it's not worth celebrating. But I invite you all out there, all you boss talkers, to celebrate all the sweet victories that you have in life. I think it's really important because today I took a self-care day. I stayed home and completely PJ'd up until about 4:30 today when I went and did my little bubble bath, because y'all know I'm the bubble bath girl. So I did my bubble bath with my sweet Epsom salt scents, which I used Glow and Radiance today. So can you tell them I'm glowing and radiant? But seriously, any small thing is worth celebrating. So I am really making a stand for that. I invite you to do the same. So somebody out there, I know you're out there, in between sending out this link because you want your friends to know about the show that's about to get started any minute now, please go ahead right now. Everybody who's on, send out the link to somebody who needs to just have something good and exciting and vibrant and filled with love in their lives, because my guest tonight is just that person. She's full of love, full of vibrance, full of energy, full of just all good things. And the best thing about her is that she does not keep it to herself. She spreads that love, that energy, that goodness everywhere she goes. And trust me, y'all, she is everywhere. Like I have run into this woman all over California on various occasions. And so that was just God whispering to us both that we needed to connect. And so I'm so glad that we have finally done that. So I'll tell you a little bit more about her. But are you sending out the link? If you're sending out the link, I need to know. Tell me that you're sending out the link. Somebody join me in the chat and tell me that you are sending out the link. And just say hi. It's nice to see y'all. I know you're out there, so don't be quiet. So I'll tell you a little bit about my guest. Her name is Antina Campbell. And Antina Campbell is a member of the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. She's a graduate of Chicago-based Robert Morris College with an accounting degree. She is a highly skilled professional who has diverse managerial background within nonprofit, entertainment, and real estate. With over 10 plus years of property management experience, Antina has managed both commercial and residential properties with a specialty in homeowner associations. She has been responsible for overseeing the day-to-day management and operations of over 15 homeowner associations located in Los Angeles, Santa Monica, Mar Vista, Beverly Hills, Marina del Rey, just to name a few. With 30 plus years of managerial and administrative skills, coupled with her undergraduate degree in accounting, she has a deep knowledge of contracts, accounting, and outstanding communication skills for a diverse clientele within property management. In fourth quarter of 2021, Antina launched Grand Horizon Property Management, a boutique management company serving the homeowner association communities in Los Angeles. She is an active member of the African American real estate profession and CAI-GLAC, which stands for Community Association Institute Greater Los Angeles Chapter. So I'm going to tell you more about her, but I'm going to bring her on and let her just give you more snippets of the amazing things that she does, and just so you get to know who she is. So without another word from me, Boss Talkers, please welcome to Boss Talk, Antina Campbell. Woohoo!
Hi.
Hello, hello. So good to see you.
Thank you. So good to see you, Queen.
Yes, indeed. You look stunning this evening, darling.
Thank you. I was like, okay, gotta look good, gotta represent, gotta be the example.
Yes, indeed. That bright megawatt smile is just giving
Thank
me
you.
life. I love it. So we got some folks in here. Let's say hi to Alicia Williams. Hello. Alicia shared that link. Thank you, girl. And to Carmen Jones. Hello, Carmen. Thank you for joining Boss Talk. William Seals, Bill, Mr. Bill, thank you for tuning in and sharing. Cheryl, what'd she say tonight? Cheryl said the frames look beautiful on me. Thank you. You know, these are my signature. I just love to have fun with lenses. So I do have I have to take them off because I've been told that I get to wear them, but I also have to take them off so you can see my beautiful face.
Yeah.
So don't worry, I will put them back on. And let's see who else is out here. Taylor. Taylor says, you both look gorgeous. Thank you, darling.
That's my Miss Black California.
I thought so. Yay. Ooh, Taylor, we have to get you on here to talk about that, your experiences going in the pageant. Connie Leathers in the house. Hello, Constance. Constance is a member of Black Women's Network and a recent, thank you, God, board member. She's our recording secretary, which we needed, and she is awesome at that job. Let's see. Oh, Eliza Gomez Taylor. Hello. Or is that Eliza? You tell me. Eliza. Proud of Antina. Absolutely. Let's see. Cheryl says, yes. And let's see what we got here. Love your frames too. Thank you. So I am so excited to have you all here because Antina, as you all know, is such an amazing human on the planet. And this woman does a little bit of every single thing. And I love it. I think we're kindred in that way. So
they
tell us a
what they
little bit.
say, a Jamaican.
Yes, exactly. I got 13 yabs, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Antina, let's talk about first how we met.
Oh my goodness. That was what are we in 2023, maybe 6 years ago in 2018.
Yeah.
We were at the KJLH their health expo in Long Beach. And at that time, Jasmine Graham, which is my daughter, was the current Miss Black California. And we were there working the room and meeting people, shaking hands, kissing babies, all that, you know.
All of that.
And we ran into you. We started talking and kind of found out just in that pageantry world, you were previously part of the pageant. And ever since then, and especially in the last 2 years, we've just been running into each other at various events. So he's like, okay, this relationship, we're supposed to cultivate it. So yeah.
Exactly. And it was so funny because every time I would see you, I'd be like, oh, we would talk pageant stuff and we would exchange numbers. And the last time I actually dialed your number and you popped up in my phone, I was like, wait a minute.
That was last year at the Leah Pump Foundation. You were communicating with my Miss Black California 2022 at that time.
Yes,
and
awesome.
Yes, and we were just going to exchange numbers. And I start putting your number in my phone, and it just popped up. So yeah, you're right.
That's so funny. So yes, and we have finally made this thing happen.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to work with you with the pageant. And it's the Miss Black California USA Scholarship Pageant.
Yes, I'm excited for it. I have a wonderful, wonderful array of women. Some of them are on the call tonight. When I got the call 2 years ago from the director, she had been kind of courting me since 2018. And I
Uh-huh.
was like, and then I got it 2 years ago, and I was like, okay, yes, yes. And then after we went to national in August last year, and God's like, okay, this is it. This is your lane. I'm like, okay, well, if you want me to do this, I'm gonna need a strong team of women that help me, So he's been sending some amazing, amazing women because, when you're always doing it on your own so much, this is big. This is bigger than me, Lord, and I can't do it without some other women. So
Yes, yes. And I'm so excited to be on that team. Each time someone new comes, I'm really excited at what they bring. And the
yeah,
collaboration is fantastic. There's a lot of we and not a lot of me. And I
yeah.
absolutely love that.
It is. Everyone is yeah. I can't even, and we're 6 or 7 months away, and I just feel like, okay, it's going to be a beautiful thing for us all to come together, production night, and just know the work we've done in the last year as a team. So yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So tell me, I know that Jasmine was a queen. She's a former Ms. Black California USA
2018.
2018. And so tell me how she got involved, and is that what brought you to the pageant? Because I know when back in 1979,
Right, right. Listen,
girl, look,
our age, don't tell our age.
okay, I was giving up my crown for Miss Black Toledo and Miss Black Ohio.
Yeah.
My mother took over the pageant because the woman who had the franchise got really sick, and there was going to be no pageant, and I was not going to be able to give up my crown, and she knew I was looking forward to that. So she bought the franchise.
Yeah.
And so I gave up my crown to someone who is my dear, dear friend to this day. Ever since then, Sydney Wayne Davis, who is a singer extraordinaire. And so I know that those mothers get in there and do what they need to do. So tell us how you got to be the director of this amazing.
Well, ironically, I am not a stranger to the pageant world. Coming from Chicago, I was in the Miss Teen USA, Miss Teen Illinois USA when I was in my teens. So that was my first exposure. I think I was 16 or 17. I entered under the USA umbrella.
Right.
And I didn't know anything. I felt like I just wanted to do it, and so it was quite an experience. I wasn't looking to win, but I will say that I enjoyed the getting over the stage fright, being able to speak in front of people, all of the other attributes that come with being in pageant, and it's really a sport. So from there, I did probably 2 or 3 more after that. I was Miss Spirited of my town, and I did some other pageants. I've done pageants. I didn't like the competition part of it, so I left it alone. But I felt like I got what I needed to build my confidence at a young age. There was other components that I was exposed to, but the pageants did help with building that confidence. And so I went on about my little merry way. And then I had a daughter, and I was definitely not in a mindset of exposing her. I wasn't one of those pageant moms, like, okay, she's got to do it, she's got to do it. I definitely was not that. But I was then introduced to the Little Miss African American Scholarship Pageant, which goes from 6 to 12, and it's basically just helping them with their self-esteem.
Right.
Jasmine got in that she was 12, just that 1 year, and she enjoyed it. I was like, "You like this?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So from there, a couple years went by, and a few of the pageant directors under the USA umbrella came after her. They found her because she was in the entertainment industry. So they started approaching her with pageants, and we were in the USA system for a couple years. And I was a pageant mom, but I wasn't a pageant mom because I'm in the entertainment side. I was more in the management side.
Okay.
We did 2 years for that. And it's very competitive. Like I say, I tell
Oh,
people it's a sport. It's like basketball, it's like baseball. It is a sport.
it
Don't get
truly
it
is.
twisted. So from there, Miss Black USA came after jazz, and they were like, we've been watching you for years. You have, would you be interested in representing the state of California? California has not had a pageant in like a physical production pageant for like 10 to 15 years. So
Ooh,
yeah,
how exciting that we're doing one this year.
exactly. We're gonna put it back on the map.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
I think the director at that who I believe the director who had the pageant is either she's currently or she was Shantae Moore's manager.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Wow. So tell us about what you do in entertainment.
Whew.
Or is it easier what you don't do?
Well, you know what? I'm a manager. My gift, I have a gift. I have a many gifts like we all do, but the one that stands out to most creatives is my gift for administration. So a
Mhm.
lot, I was my younger days in the forefront. The
Okay.
last 20, 30 years, I've been behind the scenes managing artists, working with directors or TV people or producers with just production, period.
Mhm,
So a
mhm.
lot of production because I have the gift of administration and I'm relentless with it. So my mentor, who I worked with for so many years in theater, because I'm a theater baby too. Um, she loved that about me. She brought me on under her wings, and she was most very creative, artistic
Mhm.
people may not always be organized. So she brought me on for that, and she mentored me and brought me on, and I was like her assistant. But she opened a lot
Mhm.
of doors for me in the theater. I was a professional stage manager for a lower theater on my way to Broadway, but decided, nope, I'm going to California. And well, theater isn't as big here in California, so that union card as a theatrical stage manager didn't do a whole lot, but it did help with other areas.
Mm.
And then I have a love for nonprofits. I've worked and administered and managed several nonprofits that took us all the way to Africa for years. So yeah,
Africa, wow.
I've been to um, Uganda, South Africa. Yeah, Cape Town, love
Wow,
it.
that is and I've never been, and I cannot wait for the opportunity
Well,
to
you sticking with me? We going to Africa.
some future things happening. So
That's always been my thing is that every person, particularly young people, should leave the country,
mm,
particularly experience Africa. So yeah,
absolutely. I have not yet. I've been to Europe, but Europe lives here in many ways. So I am
true.
dying to go to the motherland.
True.
Well, let's see what folks are saying in the audience there. Cheryl says, both of you queens look fantastic. Well, thank you, darling.
Yeah.
And Girls Like Me Global, we are so looking forward to tonight. Absolutely. Lorraine, you look amazing. Sean Lorraine. Hi, Lorraine. Thank you. Lorraine, tell me who that is. Give me a last name on that. She is a lady. Uh-oh. Let's see.
Something there. Oh, she is a
Lady.
lady. Oh, the Love Awards. The Love
Ah,
Awards.
that's right. Operating very effectively.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, I want you to tell us more about the Love Awards. And let's go through here first. Thank you for posting that. Is that Di? Let's see. Cheryl Rich, aging is a blessing. Truly it is, because the other part ain't so fun, isn't? And when you can age and still love life, it's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing. What part of Ohio? I am from Toledo, Ohio. Shout out to Toledo. Oh, hello, Linda. Linda's another BWN member. Thank you for tuning in tonight. And now, Antina, here's another piece. I wasn't aware that you are from the Midwest too. You're from Chicago.
Yes.
So my grandfather, my grandparents lived in Chicago on East 85th and Stony Island.
Okay. Well, I'm from the suburbs, south suburbs,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
A little town called Joliet, but I've graduated from Robert Morris from Chicago. My sister currently still lives she's a Chicago teacher, lives in Hyde Park.
Okay. Okay.
My mom is still out there in Olympia Field. So a lot of my, immediate family is still out there. My brother and all that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of my family is still in Ohio, but many of us are here too.
Yeah.
So Cheryl says pageants serve such life lessons. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree. And as you have said that as well, what are some of the things that you can think of that made you want to do this, like understanding what it does for young women?
Well, I think well, I don't think, I know that the biggest thing is ministry. I've always, not always, but I've known for a long time I have a calling on my life, right?
Yes.
And it was definitely not behind a pulpit.
Mhm. I got
So, and I've always been a servant first. And being a single mom all my life and going through, like many of us, we have our story. I have a story.
Mhm.
Um, Particularly being a young single mom, coming from a mother who was young, having me under the age of 15, and then being surrounded by strong Black women who were all my mothers. There was 6 girls and my mom with my mom, and just knowing that when I got a certain age, I had to give back. I just believe God don't give us a story just for us, or He doesn't give us trials and tribulations and obstacles just for us. And like
Absolutely.
I said, because I have a passion for helping young women, particularly women of color, here I am. And so I understand that it's not easy, but it's a calling, it's a purpose. And the pageantry is just a vessel, it's just a tool
Yeah.
God is using for the
Mhm.
ministry.
Yes,
That makes
indeed.
sense. Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah, I love that. And I love that you answered the call because so many times people fight that, you know that there's something, you're hearing that small, still voice and you push it down and don't answer. And then that's a life unfulfilled. So
Yes.
I'm really, really happy that you said that and that you actually answer the call and continue to find different ways to answer the call. So much of what you do, which we'll talk some more about. Let's see. Girls Like Me Global, love this. Women supporting women. Let's share and get as many women and brothers in the room in honor of Virtuous Women's Day. Yes. Happy Women's Day. Sharing the link now. Again,
I
now.
love
Thank
that.
you so
One of the
much.
things I was saying and I know we'll talk about at the Love Awards, is that, you know, we need more men, we need more fathers, brothers,
Mhm.
uncles behind the women in the pageants for a number of reasons. Not to gloat at them when they have bathing suits on, because we don't do the bathing suit, but to
Right.
support them financially, support them mentally, support them spiritually, because it's like I said, it's a sport like every other sport. And you go to your son's basketball game, and you sit in those bleachers and you root them on. You buy the sporting goods, the shoes, you buy the t-shirts. Same thing
Wow.
with the pageants. The daughters, the nieces, they need to know that the Black man or whatever race is behind them.
Yes. And you know what? I love that analogy of sports. And
Mhm.
I've never thought of it that way. Although I talk about how,
That's
fit-
because it's for
fitness.
so long, it's just been a beauty pageant, a
Right,
beauty. But
right.
the you know like the logo for Miss Black USA is redefining beauty. you know
Yes, I
what
love
does
that.
that look like? And in the 40, 50 years of pageantry has always been about the beauty on the outside.
Mhm, mhm. It's interesting too because people will always ask, I've been asked, and I don't know, and you can speak to this. Sometimes non-people of color ask why a Miss Black
Mhm.
America, why Miss Black USA, why Miss Black anything.
Right.
And the first thing that comes to mind is so that we can be celebrated, one,
Mhm.
and two, because of the difference in the standards of beauty that a lot of those other pageants have, been founded under those principles, and they did not include us.
Right.
They
And
did
for so
not.
long we couldn't even enter them.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
now, now
Yes.
we have our own seat at the table, and we
Right,
have to get
right,
behind our own and support it and to keep it going.
absolutely. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing, a beautiful thing. What do we have here? Cheryl says, "Congratulations on all your hard work and believing in your daughter." Absolutely. Theater is the true training ground.
Yes,
It
it is.
so is. Spa Tracy in the house. And Spa Tracy is going to also, she's representing as one of the sponsors for the pageant. So
Yay! Oh, this is oh yes, okay.
this
I
is
can't
little
wait.
Spa
We
Tracy.
gotta get some photos and get over to her spa with Miss Black, California Taylor Williams, and get some spa treatment and just start promoting her business for her.
That's right. That's right. Woman of many gifts and talents, said Linda. Yes, indeed. Wow, there are really whoop whoop West Africa in the house. Yes, indeed. I believe she is from Ghana.
Oh, South Africa, Ghana. I was just talking to one of the ladies on the team. I said we got to get to Ghana because I said, and if we go to Ghana, Miss Black California will have a story to tell when she stepped in front of those. Take that tour of the slave castle. I loved
Yes.
it. I mean, it was definitely heart wrenching, but it was an
Hmm.
experience to be there and walk through the door of no return and just be in the castles themselves. And it's almost like those spirits are still there.
Wow.
Love it. Love
I can't wait to do that.
it.
That
Yeah.
sounds amazing. Bobby Douglas. Hey, Bobby D. This is my long, long, long life friend, Bobby Douglas. And he says, I learned at a TED Women's 2016 conference that the future of man is women.
Amen. Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes. And Bobby, we are all out here loving on you and praying for you every single day. We love you. Thanks for tuning in, my brother. And what do we have here? A queen in the house, Miss Chantel Denise, who is also Ms. Elite U.S. Woman of Achievement. I got it right. She says, hey,
Hi.
hey, Antina, you go, girl, make history, baby.
All right. Thank you. Hey.
And Alan Shea from Our Society, who is also an amazing videographer and has a show of his own called Our Society. A big shout out to you, incredible ladies. Thank you, Alan. I will have to connect you two because Alan is a great person to know. He is awesome behind the scenes and in front.
All right. I'm going to hold you to that.
100%. So I know that, the Miss USA pageant and Miss USA. Here we go. Miss Black California USA scholarship pageant. I had to get all that in. Is like the main focus right now. But I do know that there is a nonprofit that is attached to it. So tell us about that, please.
Well, funny thing is, I've been, like I said, I've worked in nonprofit on all levels for 20 plus years, whether it's on the theatrical side, whether the arts or just serving, period. I have a love and a heart for the homeless community as well as mental health. So I've always planned to start a nonprofit, always, just hadn't did it. With the Miss Black USA, I don't own the entity. I have a contract with them as their California State representative director. So I launched the Sway Foundation, which is Service with Abundant Excellence. And under the Sway Foundation, there's the program, the Miss Black California USA, which is what I can do because I don't own the nonprofit Miss Black USA, but I can put the put that entity under the Sway Foundation. So it's still in its early stage because I launched it when I decided I was going to do this full force. It's like, okay, just getting everything on the business side in order so that going forward, having a pageant is costly. So we can, write grants for the fundings that we want to do. Like I said, one of the biggest things I want to be able to offer the winners, the reigning queens, is the opportunity outside of a scholarship is also to travel outside of the country. This year it's Belize. We're going to Belize. The winner is going to Belize. Next year it's Africa, in London, Paris, wherever that may be, but that takes money. It takes grants, it takes donations, it takes sponsorships. So having that 501c3 attached to it will help out tremendously.
I love that. And it's all still part of the ministry because you're bringing so much to so many. So the women in the pageant are women who have had opportunities and who have had privileges to even enter a pageant, to even consider colleges. But I love that the backstory and some of the backbone of the work that we're doing is to help those who are less fortunate, the underserved populations. And that is a beautiful thing as well. I know that one of the initiatives I remember the most is, well, there are two now that I think about it. One is mental health, right? Because of course, and the other is the shoes. Tell us about that.
Well, one of the things, little backstory. When I came out to California, I came out. My son was going to school. He was going to theatrical school, and I met a young lady who had a shoe nonprofit she was launching. And for years, this is how I made it to Africa. For years, we would collect shoes and clothing and take to African countries for the orphan children and displaced families. So that's always been a part of me, collecting new and gently worn shoes and taking to third world countries for those displaced children and orphans or just displaced families. We take a lot of things for granted here in the United States, and shoes is one of them, So we just launched along with Dreams Do Come True and Belize Dream and another nonprofit called Hot Cocoa Mango, which are 3 organizations that are here in Los Angeles, but they are Belizean women. And I had I had my heart set on going to Africa. I've been reaching out to my African contacts in South Africa saying, listen, I need you to sponsor my queens and send us to Africa and we can do the safari. But God just kept bringing these Belizean women to me in the last 90 days. I've met one was our shoe sponsor, but in the last 90 to 120 days, just these wonderful, strong Belizean women. And we were at a fashion show and left the fashion show and went out to a Mediterranean restaurant. And we walked in and there was officials from Belize just sitting there. They were having dinner, and that's who we were going to have dinner with. But they had come over here right after the Belize had that huge was it an earthquake they had?
I think it was.
And lost a lot of. So I sat down at the table with the head of tourism, the head of sporting, some doctors, some teachers. I was like, okay, Lord, and we got talking, and they were talking about their needs, and of course, my heart was like, okay. And I'm very relentless when it comes to raising products or needs and meeting the needs of other countries as well as here in LA, because we've collected shoes and went down to Skid Row and washed the feet of the homeless for years and put shoes and socks on some of those in the homeless community. So now we're working to collect shoes and sporting equipment. One of the biggest issues over in Belize is that the young people don't have things to keep them occupied or keep them interested in attending school. So they feel like sports is what they want. So they asked, can we, bring baseballs, basketballs, footballs, all those kind of items. So right now for the next 60 days, we're doing some shoe drives and some sporting good drives. I'm reaching out to friends who have relationships with, shoe stores, because I know for a fact, because from my previous working with, the other nonprofits, that these shoes, they have warehouses full of discontinued shoes, right? So getting my hands on at least 4,000 or 5,000 pair is the goal. And that we'll over there to Belize in June. We'll be going over in June with the current Miss Black California.
I love it. Who is, again, Taylor Williams, who's on here tonight.
Yes,
congratulations, Miss Taylor.
Yes. She just got back from New York, so she's amazing.
That's so awesome. I think she knows Mrs. Elite US Woman of Achievement. Okay. I think they met at an event that Alan Shea put on.
Oh, okay.
The HAPA Awards. I think that's where they put it in the chat if I got that right. And Williams says, this is great information. I have a new appreciation and understanding of beauty pageants. And that is so great.
And we are a beauty pageant, but a beauty pageant within. We're a scholarship pageant. We give scholarships for college, and we do community service. That I'm adamant about making sure that people understand where it's just not about the beauty on the outside, it's the beauty in the inside. And service is got to be number one, service and education. So
I love it. Cheryl says, I too have a dream to go through the door of no return, and I am sure our ancestors are there to greet us. Absolutely. Yes. Oh, Bobby said, Belize, it was a hurricane. That's right. It was a hurricane. Thank you. Kim Anthony is on. Hello, Miss Kim. Beauty brains and the business of doing well by doing good. Absolutely. Kim also is a pageant girl.
Yes. Okay. Well, listen, I'm gonna need all y'all help here in September
Yes,
and October. Like I
absolutely,
said, it's been 10 to
absolutely.
15 years since California has had, and there's no reason why we shouldn't have. And just to give you a little bit of backstory, most of the girls of the black girls in California, they flock to the USA system. So
Yes,
we need to change that narrative.
absolutely. And Kim is the founder and director of the Urban Excellence Institute or Urban Excellence Academy. You get me right. And I have my coaching certification through there. And she is amazing, beyond amazing. And I'm just realizing that we missed our 10 a.m. appointment this morning. Uh, so I'll holla. But Kim definitely is someone to know. So I'll make the connection for the two of you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Cheryl says, praise God for your willingness to serve and commitment to it. Absolute commitment to it.
I don't know any other way. I try to run from him, like
I
even
know, don't we?
like, don't just think about me and be selfish. Just be selfish. It's just not in my
It's never.
DNA.
It's coming right after us all the time. Hello, Camelia, another Black Women's Network diva. And on the board, Carmen says, awesome, Antina. Such a blessing.
So can I
Absolutely.
just say this about Carmen? She has she has a granddaughter. Her name is Demi. Demi is a little Miss African American
Oh,
young lady, and I've been with Demi since she was 10. Was it 10, Carmen? But that's how my heart is for watching them when they're 6 years old all the way
yes.
to 45. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so
I
just a
love
beautiful relationship, and it's exciting to watch Demi develop until she's 12 now, which should be 13. I was like, I can't wait to see when you're 18 and 19. So that, just it's important to have strong women. You have mom and
it.
you have grandmother, but having other strong women of color around
Mhm.
our girls is extremely important. So I'm thankful that grandma allows me to, to be around her granddaughter, and she trusts me. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that is important, Antina, because I believe too, like you look up to your mom and your grandmom and you know that they're awesome, right? But then when you are surrounded
yeah,
by like women in that same way, it does something for that child growing up to know
yeah,
that all these women are amazing, not just
yeah,
because she's my grandma, not just because she's my mom.
yeah.
Like all these women are amazing and I get to do that too.
Yep, yep. And this is
Yes.
giving back. Like I said, growing up, I had a lot of women around me, and I think today, if I didn't have them, I probably wouldn't be here. So it's just me saying, give back what was given to me. So
Absolutely. And that's exactly the truth. I think that, I think about like how blessed I am to have had Gene and James as my parents,
yeah,
Mayzola and Queenie Mae as my grandmamas. It's just, I think of all the things that
the
they said.
village, the village. It takes
Yes,
a village. Yeah.
absolutely. 100%. Absolutely beautiful from Carrington. Thank
That's
you.
another one of my little girls I've had. She's
Aw,
15 now, but she was 12, 13. All of them from Little Miss African American. So it's a beautiful thing to watch, like I said, to watch them at 6 and 7. And now they're 12,
mhm.
13, 14, 15, and
Yeah.
25.
And all of that, right? Well,
25 and yeah.
yes. Well, we have to shout out Miss Lisa Ruffin,
Yes.
founder and director, right, of the Little Miss
Little Miss
Africa.
African American.
Yes. Congratulations, Taylor, from Cheryl. And let's see. Yes, God doesn't allow trials and obstacles just for us. So true. Our stories are meant not just to encourage us, but also those who are witnessing or who may come after us. So good speak, ladies. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Carmen says, yes, 10 years old. And she is right there with her right now.
Hey, Jenny.
Hello, beautiful. And Bobby said, it's the foundation of our future. The greatest ancestors were either women or our kings being held up by women. Wow. Indeed. Indeed. And now we actually have Woman King to speak to some of that and to also celebrate the actual kingdomship of a woman in Africa. That was an awesome
So
move.
Crystal says, can we chat about if there's any distinctions between pageants and mental health?
Where is that? Let me see.
It's in the private chat. And I would
Okay. Yes, we absolutely can. Thank you. I'm going to put that up. Hold on. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. I'm going to put that in the other chat so that we can address that. Here we go. Woohoo. There it is. Let's get it up there. All right. So let's talk about that because mental health is my life, and that's one of the reasons I'm so happy about all of the nuances that are related to the pageant. So, can we chat about if there are any distinctions between pageants and mental health? You want to address that first? Go ahead, Antina.
Well, I have my opinions. Coming from someone who comes from a family where mental health is, prominent. My grandmother suffered from it. Um, I'm a product of depression. I am delivered from it. Let's just keep it
That's
100.
right.
And so I can speak about all I can speak about is the things that was happening in my life as a child that caused me to be in that state of mind. So when I think about the pageants, I can only go from my experience. It was a rescue for me,
Mm-hmm.
to a degree. But when I look at some of the things that happen in pageants, it's really about understanding. And we're not therapists, we're directors. That there's some underlining factors already there when a girl steps into the pageant. And a pageant is like any other sport. Like I said, I keep going back to sport because
Yeah.
it's very competitive. It could be a pageant, it could be basketball, it could be baseball, but it's where that individual, that lady is at already before she steps into a pageant will determine, I feel, how she navigates through that experience, because some of those pageants, they are ruthless. I'm just going to keep it
Yes,
100.
indeed. Yes,
It is very, but it's no different than basketball being and what happens behind the scenes when you didn't win that basketball game, or
Mhm.
that coach who tells you, you got to go out there and run this play and you don't run that play, but when you're behind the scenes and something else is happening. So again, I keep going back to sports because it's the same formula, but
Mhm.
people just lately they've seen a lot of suicide stories with girls from the pageant, and not I don't think they quite understand there were already underlining factors before that young lady stepped into the pageantry, and the levels and the pressure of a pageantry it's just another added to what was already there.
Right, right.
That's
And if
my
I could speak to it as a therapist, I see that there's a certain kind of woman that enters a pageant,
Mhm.
you know, and those are all good things, but and people who are in the spotlight and who have gregarious personalities and all of those things still are impacted by things that happen in their lives. And a lot of what shows up when someone is pageant age is stuff from the past.
Mhm.
And so high achievers live under a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Some of it is self inflicted, but it comes from somewhere. Somebody somewhere told them that that their achievements were equal to who they are. And my
Mhm.
my girl Chantel Denise talks about this. She's a woman of worth coach, and she talks about how your worth is not predicated upon what you do. And so sometimes people who do anything, enter a pageant, try out for go out for a job, all these things are ways that they are adding to their belt of things they do. um Pageants are great, and it's important that we be able to recognize what a girl brings in when she comes into a pageant. Now that we are talking about some of the mental health factors based on what happened to this particular young woman. So I think it turns on our radar to consider that this is something that we need to look at and be aware of. But pageantry itself is meant to uplift, to have young women have positive experiences,
Yeah.
which many Many pageants have not been. I know that recently, my most recent pageant was in the Woman of Achievement system, which is the pageant that Chantel Denise is representing, and that was a positive experience for me. Women were older, but I also there was a junior division and a miss division, and those were run in such a way that it was not just a competition, it was a sisterhood.
Right.
And that's what I noted watching Chantel Denise's experience in the Miss Woman in the Woman of Achievement pageant system here recently. And I think that just the way that this is being put together, the Miss Black California Scholarship USA Scholarship pageant. I'm gonna get that whole thing right once. The Miss
Miss
Black
Black
California,
California, Miss Black California, USA.
yes, USA scholarship pageant.
Yeah.
That the way that this is being put together with a woman like Antina as the director, and her purposefulness in life and understanding her ministry and what it is that she lives for and lives to put out into the world, I am certain that the experience of these girls is going to be so fantastic and so amazing and just uplifting and all of those things. So I'm really excited for that, because changing the face of, but not only the face of pageantry, but the behind the scenes
Yeah.
experience of pageantry is so important. And I'm so happy that that is what you are about. And this
And
pageant.
one of the things I continue to say to the girls, at the end of the day, only one girl, or three in my case, because I have three divisions, will take home the crown that night. But that's not the win. I mean, it's the win, it's the big win, but the win is the journey.
Yes,
The
indeed.
win is the experience. And it's really what you make it. And as we're recruiting now for girls, I'm telling them that you're being exposed to a sisterhood. But
Mhm.
even the young lady who wins, as your director, I can only do it's like manage. It's entertainment, right? It's the entertainment
Yeah.
business. It's a business, right? So at the end of the day, it's what you put into it too. So one of the things, well, not one of the things, but one of the many other things I try to instill in them is treat this as if this is a business. And I
Yeah.
tell the girls that you should walk into the pageant as if you've already won.
Yes.
And your mindset should also be that you're the president. You're competing to be the president of the United States. That's the level of being ready. And if you come with that mindset, whether you win that crown or not, the experience will open up doors for you, because you've
Absolutely.
come in with the mindset that I am Miss Black USA or Miss Black California. I am the president of the United States. And what does that mean? I mean, put yourself on that level. And
Mhm.
so, not to put any pressure in you, but it's not about pressure. It's about how we think. What
Right.
you think,
Mindset
what you speak,
shifting.
you become, you believe. Right?
Yes.
So,
Yes. Yes, I think it's all about that mindset of
yeah,
walking in, like you said, walking in as a winner. You are bound to walk out as a winner,
yeah.
but with so many more tools under your belt.
And the
Because
relationships. So,
yes, yes. And isn't all of life about relationships? It
yeah,
really is. And so this is so exciting to be able to actually instill that in these women, in
yes,
these young women coming in. And just imagine being a teen coming into this system with all these big sisters
yeah.
who are positive, talented, energetic, vibrant young women who can pour into one another, and
Yeah.
that trickles right down to those teens. So I think it's uh, especially amazing for that reason as well. Girls Like Me Global says, how do we change the hashtag strong Black woman stereotype to be one where it is okay to be vulnerable and ask for help,
Mhm.
even receive help when needed? Oh my gosh, that's so
That's a
good.
good one. That's really
Yes,
good.
indeed. Go ahead, hit that, Antina, and I'll follow up.
Well, it's so funny that you say that. The first thing that came to mind is, as much as I've been through, it is like you said, I had to be strong. You can't cry. You can't let no one see your weakness. And I'll just use my experience, and then I'll go from there. That 3 years ago, um, I joined the Richard Lawson studio acting class, right? And that was the hardest thing because acting teaches you to be vulnerable, right?
Mhm.
And Richard, it was hard to let that strength go, to let it go. And so through
Mhm.
those classes, I was able to just let my guard down and be vulnerable and show some things. But I think it's just having a good circle, having a community of women or more men, don't exclude men, that can help you do that and say
Mhm.
it's okay to be vulnerable,
Mm.
and ask for help. And that's what I had. I had a community that said it's okay to be vulnerable, and we're here. We got you. And I don't go to the school anymore, but I live by that. I'm very grateful that I had that community around me to say it's okay to be vulnerable. Doesn't mean
Mhm.
you're not strong, because you're definitely a strong woman.
Right, right. And I want to put up the word that comes to mind for me, safety.
Hmm.
That
Yeah,
I believe that number one, I believe that the stigma around seeking mental health help is slowly melting away as more and more women, more of color, Black women in particular, are seeking, services in that arena. Understanding it does not mean that I am crazy. It does not mean all these things about me, but it just means that I'm smart enough to know when I need help.
yeah,
And creating, for me as a clinician in that arena, creating spaces of safety.
yeah,
Because if we show up in a fashion that is inviting for people to share and be vulnerable, you'd be surprised what happens.
yeah. I
Yeah.
agree.
And a lot of times women, let's face it, as Black women, we've been condition that we have to hold it down. We got to, bring home the bacon, fry it up in the pan, all of that. What is it? Get to work by 9 and never let him forget he's a man. All of that was what, what we were taught, and many of us, what that we had to do or how we had to be. But now we're starting to just relax on that and
Mhm.
understand that Black girl magic does not mean that you have to make magic out of everything all the time without taking care of yourself.
Yeah,
Girl magic now means that you have good vision enough to see when you need to take a break, when you need to offer your help, when you need to soften up around your man. Like, there's so much more to Black girl magic than being so strong that you can withstand any and all things. We don't have to do that. We don't have to do that. Therefore, we are offering ourselves opportunity to seek safety and seek
and I think
vulnerability.
having more Black women are speaking up. You know,
Yes.
especially the Black women in the media and entertainment, they're speaking up
Mhm.
and they're talking about those experiences. And I think it's helping a lot of us other Black women that um, didn't want to talk about it. Like, okay, wow, Taraji is talking about it. Wow, Viola's talking about it.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
that's the purpose. When you get those type of platforms, that's what you're supposed to do. That's ministry,
Exactly.
and it's helping and it's healing. Some of us to hear women like that who some of us think like, wow, they don't have any problems. Oh, yes, they do.
Break it down,
Because
break it
they're
down. Read their
vulnerable. Yeah.
books. Right. Like, and I'm so excited to read Viola's book. I watched, just yesterday morning, I actually watched her interview with Oprah,
Mm,
talking about
yeah,
her
it's
book,
really good.
Finding Me, I think it is.
Yes,
Yes. So that is a really good example of what it looks like
you
to
got
be.
some stories.
Yeah, I was listening to her talk about her childhood, and I
Yeah,
was like, wow. My hat was already off to her, but now I'm bowing down. I'm doing like this because of the story, yes, but also because of what it must have taken to
yeah,
be willing to tell that story and to still stand with your head held high. And that is such an example for women out
yeah,
there who may be hiding their stories. And
yeah.
when you hide stuff, it's like starts popping out in places you don't want it to. So
And that's an indication she's been healed from it because now she can talk about it and tell about it.
yes.
Yeah, so yeah,
Absolutely, absolutely. That's what Living Loved Healing is about.
yeah.
Because that's the name of my practice is called Living Loved Pathways to Holistic Healing. And so I believe that if you are living loved, love is a beautiful thing, and we try to live outside of it or underneath it or behind it. But if you're living loved inside, outside, upside down, side, all around you, then that's where you find your way to the healing. That is
Mhm.
it.
What
So
would you say is the wind beneath your wings? Whew. God.
oh yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
I can't do anything. I know it probably sounds a little cheesy, but I'm not religious, saved, sanctified, hit me with the Bible, dipped in holy, but I am a spiritual person, and I know that I'm still standing today because
Mhm.
of Him. Because because whatever plan He has me has to be, it's going to manifest. And
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
I would have. That's my win. That's my front, my back, my left, my right, and then just what I've been through.
Mhm.
As a single mother, and I look at my two beautiful kids and now my grandbaby, and just keep moving. Just I don't know any. There's no other option but to just keep breathing, keep moving, keep serving, and keep giving until God says, "Okay, well done, my child. Come home."
Yes, indeed, absolutely. And in the show notes, in fact, the show is called, what is it called? I forgot. Wind something about the wind beneath your wings, though. You are the wind beneath
Yeah.
so many women,
Yeah.
and I'm sure a young man as well, but you're the wind beneath the wings of so many.
Yeah.
And so you said how God is the wind beneath your wings, and I imagine that that spirit that lives in you allows you to push others up. That's so
It's so funny when the place I live in. I just want to say this because I'm just now realizing it. Not just now realizing, but it's like, okay. I've been here 8, 9 years, and I've always been somewhat a private person and don't like I have know a lot of people, but your space is your space. So you don't let a
Mhm,
lot of folks in your home because of
mhm.
spirits. But every person that comes to my house, they don't want to leave. Like it just
Wow.
feels so calm in here. I'm like, really? Really? And I'm realizing that it's something I bring to the table. I just
Mm.
peace. I like peace. And I mean, I can tell you this one lady I met years and years ago came from another country, wanted me to help her with her daughter. I was like, well, let me tell you, I don't live in Hollywood Hills in these big houses or whatever. Let me show you where I live first. And I showed her, which is a pretty decent area.
Mhm.
She came and she sat down on the couch and she just like,
Wow.
I
Look at
was
that.
like, okay, you okay? She said, it just feels so peaceful. I can trust that my daughter can stay here, which I'm like, okay.
Okay.
You know, but
There.
I'm realizing and I'm letting more people in my space in my home, but understanding that it's not about me. It's like, okay, okay, Lord, there's a peace that surpasses all understanding, even from myself.
Mhm. Yes, indeed, indeed. So Cheryl says finding me was a life changer for her. Absolutely. Linda Kirk says, Amen. And let's see. Cheryl says, my hat is off to her. Also, she did not hold back. Ms. Viola came to heal hearts. Absolutely. William says, I like that micro magic. That's deep. That's on the plane of quantum physics. I love it. I love it. So I have a question for you, Antina, because you're talking about the ways in which you tap into God, that God
Mhm.
spirit that is in you, that's all about you, that you live
Yeah.
through, and all of that. So if there are young men and women out there, how do you help them to find, can you speak to how they might find that power that inspires greatness? Because that's what we talk about tonight, is that's what you do. I don't know if you're aware of that, but that's absolutely what you do. And all these women, and teaching them that when they come to the pageant, they're already winners, and then pouring into them
Yeah.
in that way. The work you do with the homeless, the just even the acute sense that you have that allows you, when you are places, to know that this is exactly where I'm supposed to
Yeah.
be, and to take of those gifts. So what would you share with our audience, with the boss talkers out there, how to find that power that
For
inspires?
me, I would say just be an example. I'm 54 and fabulous. I don't
Come
know if
on
y'all, I
now.
don't know if I don't know if y'all saw that on the Jennifer Hudson show the other day. I was like, I'm 54 and fabulous, Jennifer. But
Come on
for
now.
me, it's really just about being an example. I'm still learning. And when still work in progress. But the one thing that the Holy Spirit just keeps saying to me, even more now than ever, is be the example. Be the example. Show up, show out. I've always been a hard worker and been relentless behind the scenes. I was comfortable, for years behind the scenes. Now God is putting me in front, and I'll just be the example. And I'm going to make mistakes and be okay with that. We live in a world where people judge you and whatever, but I can't allow that to consume me and stop being the example, stop pushing and keep pushing forward. So I think it's just simply just be the example. Do what I say I'm going to do, and say what and say it and mean it, and work very hard at it. I don't know any other way but be the example.
Thank you. That's it. Well, every bit of it shows up every day. You're such a light and such a joy to be around. And I just love everything about you and everything that you're doing.
I'm so glad you're on my team.
Me too. I'm very excited.
Wonderful. I think this is bigger than, I always believe everything God brings me is bigger than I can. It's another plan. Like I said, the pageant is just a vehicle for something even bigger that He has planned. And I'm like, okay, Lord.
Absolutely. I mean, I think about that too, because when we got together and we started talking, we were always chatting. And then you asked me to be on the team, and I was so excited. But here's the thing. When I looked at the email that had all of the things that
it was a lot, right?
To, oh my God. But see, I'm in a lot, girl. I love a lot. So a lot to me is just what we're supposed to be doing. Like that was the list. This is how it's supposed to look. Here we go. Let's go. And I love that you're that same.
I don't know how. I just trust in God.
You don't have to know how, right? We just like walk in faith, not by sight. Exactly. I love it.
I didn't say, okay, we're going to have a small pageant at a small theater. We're going to have a big pageant at the Saban Theater.
Come on, Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills. I'm like, okay, Lord.
Yes. She says, Girls Like Me Global says, through only one woman takes away the tangible crown. Though only one woman takes away the tangible crown that night, the win is the journey, having a mindset that you already won. She loves that. Absolutely. That is so profound.
The win is the journey.
All right, Miss Linda Kirk says she is 71 and still fabulous. Yes. Indeed. And she is. Now that I did not know about you, darling. I love it. We press towards our heavenly crowns. Absolutely. This has been so amazing chatting with you. And I'm so excited that the Boss Talkers got to meet you and got to know you.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited too.
Yes.
So any teenagers out there between 14 and 45, young Black women, tell them to go out to the website, www.missblackcaliforniausa.org, and register. Registration's up between now and May, but I have a quota, a number we're reaching for each division. So once we reach that number, we're closing the registration. But yeah.
So give me the website again.
www.missblackcaliforniausa.org. And the Instagram is Miss MISS Black California USA.org. And then the Instagram is Miss Black CA USA.
Okay. So this is where, and on that website, ladies, you and gentlemen, because you need to push some of the ladies in your lives to sign up to be a part of this amazing opportunity. So it's Miss Black California USA.org. Yeah. And also the Instagram is
Miss Black CA USA. But if you go to the website, all the social media sites are on there. Facebook is Miss Black California.
Okay. There we go. There's the IG. Mm-hmm. So follow us there, because you will find out everything that we are doing. But on September 30th, you would be able to come and see the
September 30th is the teen and the Miss, the MS division. Teen is 14 to 19, and the Ms is 26 to 45. And then October 1st is the Miss MISS pageant. So it's a 2-day pageant. It's a weekend-long event, but we have 2 divisions on Saturday and 1 division on Sunday.
Yes.
And then
So
those winners will go, those ladies will then go and compete in 2024 in Washington, D.C. for the Miss Black USA Scholarship Pageant. And they're given a full ride scholarship from at an HBC school. So, yeah.
yes, indeed. And so, listen, if you are out there and you want to sponsor any part of the pageant, if you want to sponsor gifts for our winners, that's my job. So please reach out to me.
Or you want to you want to sponsor grant. We need money too.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
For that too.
Absolutely. So this is the time to start doing those kinds of things. I know there are a lot of business owners out there. This is an opportunity to get your business out there, get people to know about you and what you do, and help us along the way in this amazing work that we get to do. So I'm so excited. And what did Linda say? Linda said, I love this real talk. Let's do it again. Absolutely. Well, Linda, Boss Talk is here every Wednesday at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 7 o'clock Mountain Time, 8 o'clock Central Time, and 9 o'clock on the East Coast. And we love having you here tonight and hope that you will come again. And for those of you who are first-time Boss Talkers, you heard it. We are here every single week.
And I have one thing to say too.
Oh, please. Yes.
So my final word to everyone is that, like I tell you, I'm 54 and fabulous. Dreams have no expiration date.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever your dreams are, whatever you desire to do the work and it will manifest.
I love that. Do the work and it will manifest. That was worth typing out.
Listen, the one thing is pageants are sports like everything else.
Mm-hmm.
We are not a beauty pageant. The beauty, we redefine in beauty, and we need your support. We need our fathers, our uncles, our grandfathers, our mothers, the community behind the Black women. This is our time, but we have to have the support of our community.
Yes. And let's see me spell this right. Pageantry is like a sport. So we need y'all to come out and play.
Redefining beauty, yes.
Yes. All right. So do the work and it will manifest. And pageantry is like a sport. Redefining beauty.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It's been such a joy to have you here. Thanks for all that you shared and all that you do, Queen. You are amazing.
Thank you.
Love you, beautiful ladies. What a great show. Thank you, Carmen.
Hi, Carmen and Dominique. Miss Taylor.
Yay.
Oh, and
congratulations to you, Miss Taylor. We are 100% behind you, darling. And Bobby said, calling all earth angels. Thank you, love. Mwah. So listen, y'all, that brings us to an end tonight. Thank you once again for tuning in. You could have been anywhere, but we are so excited that you chose to be here with us. And this has been Boss Talk. And y'all know that that's bold, one of a kind, sensational superstars. And that's you. So we'll see you next week. Share, and share. And do tell any and everyone you know about the Miss Black California USA Scholarship Pageant happening right here in California. Thank you. Shalom, y'all. Live loved.
Bye.